You did ask.
Yeah, you're back now, so I'll see you back. I'm seeing you back. Beginning this week.
I didn't hear
Yes, and say we can start the annual planning meeting, so once if nobody does anything, we can sit with our thumbs, that's not a problem. Just announce it to the room.
We're going to start the annual parish meeting. Discuss. If not, carry on checking amongst yourselves.
Is there any minutes from last year's meeting? Was there anything brought up that we should look at?
The minutes of last year's meeting were considered in June of last year and resolved at that point. I can check if you like, but
Yeah, I just wondered.
I don't hold them over for a year because my brain won't hold them that long. We might if there's nothing, can I take a minute to just get to sign? This is the declaration of acceptance of office of council, which we all need to sign before the meeting starts. It's very simple. It just needs your name and date and signature and how much volume or once or twice, and I'll countersign it at the bottom. You have to do this as a legal thing. This is where you accept the fact that you accept the office of.
We elected now, or still voted?
You are elected. What do you say? Yeah.
He's spreading the background, so we're good.
Who's reading that letter?
Do you have to sign this at the bottom of it? We don't have to. This declaration is more peaceful.
I'll sign it if you like. Yeah, just.
When?
I think I'm a control freak. I don't understand it. I've just delivered a defibrillator to Fogathorpe, and it's going to be put on the Black Swan pub wall. and is there therefore 24/7 for anybody. Ellerton's had one, Orton has had one, Bubby's had one, Breeton is having one, and Latham's having one. So all those 6 small villages are going to have a 24/7 public access defibrillator, and they've all come from grants. So I contacted Claire Adrian,
Yeah.
who does the first responder thing, and the 2 girls got the defibrillator that they had, and asked if she thought it might be useful for them for a 24/7 defibrillator to be sited in the village somewhere on a wall, like on the surgery wall, or maybe in the telephone box if you decide to move it and you decide that's the right side. And she's been in touch with the ambulance service. They all think it's a fantastic idea. And so at the appropriate point in the meeting I'll mention that again, and if you think that the village should, or the parish council should apply for a grant to get a defibrillator, an extra one for the village, then
We already have one.
the one we have is with the first responders.
So do they keep that among themselves?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't
Yeah, it
know
goes
how.
around in the back too,
Do they?
a big backpack, and when a 999 call goes out, the first responders are put on standby, and then when they get the nature of the call, because if it's got a certain criteria, they don't have to attend, or they're not allowed
So do
to
they
attend.
share that out among themselves?
Yeah, when you're on call, you've got the password.
Yeah.
But the grants are there, and there's no promise of a grant, but those 6 villages have all, or 5 of the villages, sorry, have got a grant for a defibrillator. It costs £1,500, including the cabinet.
I've got one as well.
Yeah, Wrestle have got one, Bishop Wilton have got one, a lot of the smaller.
I have this question, but it's public access, how do they keep it secure 24/7? You know, so
The
no
box.
one access.
The box is as really solid, as vandal-proof as they come box, and it's got a keypad access. And you phone 999, and if the operator thinks that the emergency warrants access to it, they'll say, go to the box it's sited at, press in X7342 or whatever, and then they open the box and then they take it out, and they then take it to the patient. But I thought maybe it's something that, it's a large village and you can't have too many things, too many people. So, but I'll bring that up at the appropriate time, but that's just explain the ins and outs. Hi Mike. Morning. Could I borrow your pen, please? Thank you. Could you just, this is declaration of acceptance of office. If you could just put your name and date of birth and then sign it, please. You realise you're sitting in this chair.
Yeah, no,
Check my side. We have sort of agreed.
I think so. I
Must
think
say,
that's
Where
that's
say
particular. Have you seen the placard?
How did you see that?
I was going to try and pop down there to go over to the about it. So where
Yeah, just
Great
date was 20th of May.
well, there's a place being built on it.
Right. Already.
Signed just underneath. That's magic.
That's you. It's not a bus stop, for example.
Yes.
There's something raised like beds.
Yeah.
Like so. On the left hand side, as you can show, there is a gap.
Yeah, in the car.
This isn't very major, it's got shrubs running at the moment. Yeah, it's just about the right width. And
So that will be tied up to Barry's boundary.
no,
No.
no, it's about.
Yeah.
No other bins on,
Yes.
just this way. It won't be. I mean, you could climb to carry it now without.
That can also.
No, the walls already there.
I was going to say, well, it's not, I mean, when we were doing Passover rehearsals, we were watching 2 lads and they went onto the flower bed and up onto Dennis's wall and walked right down the side of the carriage so they didn't, you know,
Is that what they were going to the village hall?
they were dragging it down. So I was just put the car headlights and looking down like,
I wanted to tell a joke, I mean, I could.
Oh, no, no.
I feel that that is appropriate.
To the annual meeting, and you know they were really good at coming back and seeing what we had over for the year in the minutes.
Well, what's her name used to come? Richard Cath,
Yeah.
quite often. For the new parish councillors, Emily at the back there is our grapevine editor. And she will be sending out a draft of the grapevine at some point during the process, and then I send that on to you for comments, and if you've got comments then that comes back and we look at it and change it as necessary. So you get the opportunity to have an input to what is being put together as the grapevine. Emily is Margaret's daughter, or should I say Margaret is Emily's mother. Well, I didn't know whether I thought you might pick it up when you go back for holiday in a week, but I was just conscious that looks and then just basically said, oh, Tim has to mention can I? So I wrote to him and said somebody else has. Would you like to add it? And that's why I contacted you, so I can tell you what to do. I've got 2 or 3 lines on it. By no means as professional as yes, sorry, I've never heard. Yeah. I think that's it. Would you like to start it at 7? A bit early to start drinking. A bit early to start building. Tell a joke then, no?
Because I went on Sunday and the plan gone through the village hall. Because I want to see the game on the Friday morning. So I said,
Yeah, it doesn't need to be here till 6:30. We normally start with the annual parish meeting in about half an hour, so it doesn't impinge into the parish council meeting. And normally we get 3 or 4 people making comments about things, and it hasn't happened. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of juice flowing here, particularly has flowing juice.
You can see the dimensional cost.
Yeah, as I say, that didn't do, and I was a bit conscious of that. I kind of didn't feel like a coach in anything.
I didn't see that.
That's one. I got it on email. for new parish councils, but the link was working, so I was able to get it working and download the PDF, so I find it back to it. I don't think it's copied over what it means.
So, what do you think? Israel emailed me. No, he's going to see. And I was thinking of this later. And this thing from Dean, I still say, so you want me to wait until the
That you
change?
guys. I was going to say how that's why it disappeared, isn't it?
So yeah, just, I will get a second picture, just to
Yes,
I
okay.
don't need that.
Well,
Everything all right for this month's? Yes, I saw that.
How's mine?
I haven't seen
It's
it.
very good. It's a bit worse than well on Saturday. Yeah, picked up my
I think I've seen it.
I've got the
I mean, we missed it. I missed it.
Your call.
The previous one.
Share it.
It's just got all of it taken. Well, if you want to drop a note like saying that you give it that, I want it to be on it, because it will, won't it? And that was the problem with the first one. But when I saw it, I should have rejected it and said to her, look, this isn't going to work, because I was surprised.
not anything that we wrote, but we
It's just not going to copy, is it? Yeah. Well, we can do it again if we can get this done as soon as possible. And the guys are delivering. He found me up and said, are we on for that day? So it's going to be a bit
Well, that's still,
well, I think it's better to
yeah,
turn it next week.
well, you know how
I
many,
think she was sitting on Monday, on Tuesday, but I'll treat it.
and then
Get it out, because the sooner the better, because
to the
I've
other
got control over it, because I had to print it.
then there's a bit of
One of the tones, because I know it's out way today, so
that building
it's the weekend, and the weekend is I can't print it as a weekend, and it's quite expensive before.
So there was three spots, three bushes in the yard. No. Yeah, lovely. No,
I don't see it, I don't know if you're
okay.
right. Because we don't get copies, I don't get
She does my pot, so I know that she's been busy.
So yeah, that's how it's gone.
She's in my
What
dissertation and
Yeah.
it's
Well, perhaps there's a time pop right or something, it'll sort itself out next time if it
oh yeah,
doesn't.
this thing she has
we have the opportunity.
at least a year of no dissertations. I don't know if she's doing it or finishes.
I'm lucky that Manfield is down the road.
Some sauces sound
So he's just a cat.
Well, we can't start until 7:30, so normally we have 2 or 3 people, and that's why we start early. Well, I normally tell jokes at other parish council meetings, but they don't seem very keen. Can't understand them. Waiting to open the door for you. Please, take a seat. Four managers have come. Sign up. Yeah, this is a different one. I wanted to split it so you didn't get it all together, you see. Didn't want too much excitement on one day. This is just declaration of acceptance of office. If you just put your name in and date and sign it.
I'm alright.
Just want to say hello to my friends. Good. Very good.
One of them, please, pop it to a second agenda.
Well, I'm just going to have a small. Yes. I'll play today. Oh no.
I've got children and young people, which is great because it's something that I'm quite hooked into. And also got licensing, which is taxi cabs. And I've got the drainage board again, which is good because that's an important one around here. And I've got corporate parenting. I don't really know what that is, but I think it's probably children that are caring and responsibility of the local authority. Because you've got Nigel on planning. Well, it's something that he's actually away at the moment, but it's something that we need to start putting under some pressure on. Did you get 20 films? 20 thing that Stephen.
You just put your name in there where it says sorry, I should have shown you that.
Is it from Hardlock? Is it,
It is, it's a
Has he logged it onto the...
If you have a double barrel, might have
No,
the kids
oh,
with
it's
us playing
true.
football.
I kept saying, we should have been doing all these for us.
Do the election of chair. When we open the meeting, it has to be the process items. We have to cover things with Victoria, just to briefly talk about, and then Victoria can get on. She's actually got a game of bingo, I think.
Well, it's my third meeting this evening, so it's manic at the moment, it really is. I have one other lady in what is it, old people bungalow in East Street, and it's leaking, and she can't seem to get something to be able to get the service right.
Is anybody else too warm? Do you want the heating turned off or
Down with it.
Huh?
Just down with it.
down a bit?
Yes, safe viewing out there.
It's down very low at the moment.
How is it? Might cool off in a bit.
Warm's out here. Looking warm's out here.
That's what I said, they do warm.
It's fantastic, don't you think?
I've just been blown about on a field, so it's quite nice to get warmed up.
It's right on the left watch.
Cool.
Oh, go do that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll start part of the Parish Council meeting. Welcome everyone. Any apologies?
Yeah, we've got apologies from Helen.
Right, well, at this point we have to elect a chairman. And we're going to elect the chairman, then our ward councillor has got to dash off. There are a couple of things you'd like to speak about, so we'll get the chairman elected and then we'll have a few minutes. Right.
I'd like to elect Councillor Hastings.
Is it prepared to do it?
And for a few weeks. All those in favour?
Nobody else wants to.
Sign the things. We'll just hold it up. Thank you.
Right,
Sorry.
right, three things. One, if there's anything that any of you want to bring to me, because obviously usually we leave it till the end of the meeting, but if you could raise it now, that would be good. Two, and that is the drainage sewage issues down at Sands Lane and the adjoining properties down there. What I suggest we do is that we actually, now that all the elections are out of the way, we actually try and get hold of Yorkshire Water and actually get them to come down and meet a group of residents and probably if the chairman's willing himself, and I don't know about Steve, but to actually try and get them to come down and actually hear what the local people, the history of the sewage problems or drainage problems that they've had down there, so that they can actually not deny them, which will then give us actually a little bit more power to actually say, well, if you're going to put some developments over there, then you would have to spend X amount of money before, to make it work before you did, which would actually then put more question on viability and things. So if you want to talk that through among yourselves and let me know, then I think that's a sensible way forward. And also, I'd like you to encourage any residents that have any documentary evidence or any sort of memory history that they can put down on paper of the issues that they've had in that area. And I know that from verbal information that I've been given that it's quite long and drawn out and there's an awful lot of history to sort of sewage coming up in gardens and all sorts of horrible things. So any of that information, I think we need to document it and actually put it down in writing. I have briefly had a word with Peter and Steve about it, and I think Steve's happy to sort of help.
Yeah, we all three of us actually were at a planning liaison meeting on Monday in Goole, and the planning officers there, we brought this up to them and said that there are issues at the moment in the Sands Lane area where people's toilets are blocking and backing up. There's sewage in gardens and they're coming to tanker away waste from the pumping station. And with an extra 30 odd houses, it's obviously going to be worse. And we basically said to the planners, because the head of planning was there, and we said, look, we need your support because we can't get anywhere with Yorkshire Water. And they did commit, didn't they, that they would find somebody within the planning department that has a bit of knowledge about such matters, and that person would support the parish council in the dealings with Yorkshire Water, and will be able to bring people at the right level from Yorkshire Water to speak to. So I think that's.
I think it's, you know, obviously if we can use, if we jump on that now fairly quickly on the back of the meeting that we had earlier in the week, then hopefully we can actually get some facts lodged about, you know, some anecdotal evidence that we've got. And what I would say to you, and that's always anything like this that is an issue for residents anywhere in the village or in the parish, make sure that people do get their phones out and take a photograph, because you can't beat actual photographic evidence of whatever the issue is. It might not be sewage, it might be, you know, sort of traffic or parking or, you know, sort of whatever it is. That Photoshop is always very useful for future reference. So that's the second item, and then the third item. What was the third one I was going to see? Safety, road safety, and speeding. Right. Prior to the run up to the election, we were talking about level crossing in the middle of the village. I know there's quite a few residents that are keen about that. We've got one lady that's actually come forward, hasn't she? That I've forgotten the name.
There's a petition happening in Catherine's Barbers, yeah.
Right, yeah, and you know, we have got those residents that are on the old, you know, the other side of the village, you know, sort of behind the centre cafe, that are struggling to get over onto this side of the road. We need to build again some information and any references we have on that. Get any letters of support, you know, from residents where they're having issues, and let's sort of open up the campaign to try and speed up. I know that potentially it's been approved as being a good idea, but what we need to now do is make a proactive action to try and push it through and push it up that huge list that East Riding have. And I think we need to be looking at, you know, sort of probably creating a little steering group on that. Now, also, I do get a lot of complaints from all of the parishes, to be fair, about speeding, rural speeding. And I know that none of us are saints and we're all inclined to be in a hurry, and I know I'm one of the world's worst for it. But I am actually trying to make that conscious effort to press the button on the end of the indicator stick that says, right, that's it, 30 miles an hour, I can't go any faster. We need to, again, I think if this steering group that we could get together could actually start looking at ideas that we might be able to do to actually make our own residents realise that the biggest problem with speeding in rural communities is ourselves. It's not necessarily the person that's coming through, because they don't know, they're not as confident, so they actually are more inclined to adhere to speed limits. It's actually the confidence of drivers in their home community where they know where the bends are, and they put the foot down, they hit the brake, put the foot down, hit the brake, they know where it all is, and it is actually statistically proven that more speeding is done by the local community than it is by visitors passing through. So, again, I think if we can formulate a bit of a steering group, some parish councillors, maybe some people from the community, it doesn't have to be all parish council led, their ideas, and that's what I'm happy to, you know, sort of to encourage and be part of that. I can't do a huge amount to it personally, because obviously you know my workload's huge anyway, but if I can help and encourage and sort of make the right connections, then if you guys want to sort of take that forward, then I'm happy to support it.
Can I just mention something that Victoria's been talking about, and that is looking at advertising speed limits in an informal way, and everybody on High Street and Selby Road, as an example, put out 3 bins every fortnight, and there is a company that make stickers to go on bins that say anything you want, but like 30 miles an hour, please drive slowly. And if everybody, or a percentage of Selby Road and High Street had these stickers on their bins, every time the bin's out, drivers are coming along and they're seeing that, oh, this is a 30. And we can't have a formal repeater 30 mile an hour limit because we've got the street lights. But this is an informal way that we might get the message across, and that's something that Victoria is investigating.
It's quite frustrating because logically I thought that we would be able to have 30 mile an hour repeaters, even if it meant we had to fund them. But we can't, we actually cannot do that. The minute you do that, you're actually null and voiding the 30 mile an hour speed limit, which might sound bonkers, but in a built up area, 30 miles an hour is wherever you have street lighting. Now I know we've had this instance on Back Lane, haven't we? And we have got some signage on there saying street lights being 30. Well, I think we need to roll that out further, and I think we can also be a bit inventive. We may have a farmer who will let us use a corner of a field to put a stack of bales, and instead of having the gala banner up, let's have a banner up saying this is our village, please drive slowly for a month. You know, I think it's trying to have a more inventive attitude towards actually informing people. 20 years ago, all of a sudden we started having, you know, signs at the beginning of villages saying, save our children. It worked fantastically, but it's all died now because of the fact that, you know, we've got used to them, we don't actually read them anymore, and we've seen them in everybody's village. Let's see if we can come up with something that's different. It might be a scarecrow competition, but instead of it being a general one, you know, sort of for superheroes and things, let's have it with policemen and, you know, speed guns, and, you know, so let's try and engage in that respect. Maybe even do a bit of a project with the school so that the kids are actually telling their parents to slow down, you know, because I think, again, that's another way of getting into the family. So they're all ideas. There's a lot, you know, lots of ideas. I'm sure you'll come up with some more, but if we could, if you're willing, and if it's of interest to you, then I'm happy to sort of put my 2 pence in as well. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything that anybody has, aside from those things, is there anything that anybody has for me? Madge? Nothing?
Nothing at the moment.
Don't say that. Well, alright then. Yeah, we got okay. Alright, shall I leave that with you, and then you can maybe have a check with it later on in your agenda, and then
Sure.
you can come back to me.
Yeah.
Super. Alright. Sorry I'm having to fly, but it's just one of those nights. Okay. Take care, everybody. And welcome to the team, those that are new. Bye now. Cheers, Steve. Bye.
Vice Chairman?
Yep.
You need to elect a Vice Chairman. Well, as Helen indicated that she would accept the nomination. She did. Helen's been proposed and seconded.
Yeah.
All those in favour of that? Co-option of parish councillors. As you know, we're one council short. We have, we said one applicant.
There's 2 applicants now. You've seen information from Andrew Reddyhoff. You all got his email with his information, yeah. And the other applicant came in before I sent the agenda out, and that's Laird Evans. And Laird just says that he's lived in the village now 5 years or so, and he'd like the chance to contribute to the parish council's efforts to improve the services and facilities for the people that live in the village. My wife and I have been made very welcome here, and we now believe this will be our long-term home. So that's what Laird wrote about why he wants to be co-opted. So he just basically take the vote.
Right, show of hands.
comes before ours, so if you people want to vote for Laird maybe first.
Okay, those who would like their evidence to be voted to the council.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And the other gentleman,
And we're ready for
Andrew.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right, there's 11. 12, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So therefore Laird Evans.
Their evidence is co-opted.
Laird can't make tonight. I did invite both of them to come if they want, but Laird had a prior engagement, so I'll contact him and get him to fill out all the paperwork and so on ready for the next meeting.
Right, current committees. Burial committee.
The current, did I put on there? No, the current people on it, I know we've got new parish councillors, the current people are, the chairman and vice chairman are on every committee sort of thing. And the current burial committee, there's Ian, Anne, Madge, Ernest, Anthea, and those are the current people.
Are you all willing to carry on serving on? Hence, you will carry on?
Yes.
Anthea? Anyone else like to join the burial committee? Okay, we're all going to carry on with that one. Emergency plans, severe weather.
Currently, there's only Anne, who's a current parish councillor that's involved in that.
Okay. Would anyone else like to get involved?
I prefer not to be on it, if that's okay. I can't see that I could be at the shoots, that's the only thing, isn't it? We've not had any meetings or anything.
Or a shovel.
Shoveling.
Basically, the parish council has an emergency plan, and it also has a severe weather plan. They need to be looked at. They were set up, the severe weather plan, as an example, was set up based on the fact that we had a garage on Beacon View and now the store is elsewhere. We need to look at that. And it's something I think that needs looking at, this severe weather with our handyman Pete. Just to make sure that we've got as much coverage as possible in terms of where salt is, what we might do in terms of supporting Pete in, as he's clearing the soil pile, etc. So it's basically meeting up and discussing all of that, and then I as clerk would then amend everything that is in writing at the moment, then put it out for consultation. And the emergency plan is a formal document with the East Riding. And again, that needs updating anyway because we've got a new parish council.
But like you said, I'm prepared to be with the emergency one, but not with the buffer. But are you going to run them as two separate ones, or do they need to run them into one? Could you do them as two separate ones? Because the
Or we
emergency
could have it as one and you could come to the ones where and leave halfway or something.
You wouldn't need to.
Shouldn't it not be run as two separate things if we're doing an emergency plan?
Yeah.
And then your severe weather one was tagged onto that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shouldn't we sort of make plans for
Yeah.
have emergencies?
Do that if you so wish.
Yes,
Yeah.
sounds like a good idea.
If I, could still stay on the emergency one.
So you want to stay on the emergency one or on the other, and Andrew's happy to be on both?
I have to be on both.
And Mike.
There's no shoveling now, we've got the snow plough. You need to learn to drive the tractor. Village hall representatives, well, I think we have enough of those, haven't we?
Well, that tends to be, I think, everybody that's on the village hall committee, which is currently Ian, Richard, Mike, Ernest. Oh, you're not Mike, sorry, I thought you were, apologies. Anthea, yes, Ernest, Anthea, and Helen, isn't it? Right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. Okay, so
That's,
yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Heritage.
Currently, of current parish parish councillors. There's Anne and Madge.
What does the Heritage Committee consist of? What does it entail?
The Heritage Committee is basically Gordon Hallcroft has fronted that, who stood down as a parish councillor this time. They're involved in the Heritage Board on the Village Green, the big board there. They're looking at lots of public rights of way in terms of making sure that